So our awards luncheon and the West Virginia Brownfields Awards recognize the hard work and great achievements in brownfield redevelopment from across the state. These awards recognize individuals, communities, and organizations who are making major contributions to the redevelopment of brownfields in West Virginia. We have several categories, and we have some beautiful awards, as I said, from East Wheeling Clayworks. These are limited edition. You must win an award to get these pieces. And our first award category is community engagement. This award recognizes a partner or a community who has demonstrated an exceptional commitment to community engagement, working closely with communities to identify and implement redevelopment priorities. This year, we have 2 recipients in this category, which is near and dear to my heart. And our first recipient, unfortunately, is not here, but I'm excited to tell you all about their project, and that is the Shepherdstown Landfill to Library project. This project transformed a municipal dump into a state-of-the-art library in Shepherdstown, which, if you haven't visited, is absolutely stunning, and I highly recommend you add it to your next trip to the Eastern Panhandle. This was a project that involved the Brownfields Assistance Center. It kicked off with a focus grant many years ago. It was a partnership with the Jefferson County Development Authority, which ultimately took ownership of the property, applied for and received a cleanup grant to clean up the property, and then the library, which raised $4.4 million in capital funds. They wanted to raise all of the money for the construction, and they did that and opened the library last summer. And we're very excited to honor them with this award. And although they're not here, I invite you to join me in congratulating them. Yep.
All right, a little bit different this year. We have a second recipient of the community engagement category, and this is the Black Diamond Project in Huntington, West Virginia. And I'll just read a few excerpts about it. I think there's some information about these there on your table. But this has been going on for a few years. It's a work in progress, that's for sure. EPA brownfield funding has been heavily involved. The site's in the West Virginia DEP Voluntary Remediation Program. Cofield Development, they're the entity that's involved with this particular project. And it has sat vacant for a long time, but as cleanup gets done, there's going to be lots of new stuff there. It's currently going through architectural and engineering due diligence, and they're going to have they've got 2 anchor tenants at the facility. One is Solar Holler, and if you're anywhere around the Huntington, West Virginia area, you will see their trucks everywhere. They're a full-service solar developer, doing lots of installations all over, not just West Virginia, but other states as well. And the other tenant is the Reuse Corridor. It's a multi-state network of partners across Central Appalachia focused on recycling, upcycling, and reclaiming various materials. And Mark Buchanan with our shop at the Brownfield Center, he's also got a little something going on there too with them as well. So this is going to become a hub for good jobs and community activity with a focus on renewable energy, conservation, and climate resilient technologies. Unfortunately, there was a last minute issue that came up with these folks, and they could not be here today. So the Thrasher Group is their contractor that's doing the work there, the environmental work there, and they asked if Sam Wilkes would accept this on their behalf. So Sam, if you would come up.
Our next award in economic development recognizes a project or community partner that has demonstrated excellence in economic development on one or more brownfield site. This year's recipient is Eileen Johnson. Eileen is a native of Weirton, just up the road, in the heart of the Steel Valley, as she described it. She got an early understanding of economic and environmental impact that brownfield redevelopment can have on the community growing up in the Steel Valley, and she got her Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Personal Psychology and Business Administration from Fairmont State, and a master's degree in Labor Relations with an emphasis in collective bargaining and arbitration from West Virginia University. She was served until very recently, and served as the executive director of the Hampshire County Development Authority, where she was the lead champion on the repurposing of the former Hampshire Memorial Hospital into a revitalized elementary school. She worked with the Brownfield Center. She worked with numerous government, local, and regional partners on that project that is now near to completion. And in June of this year, she retired and now lives in Bloomery, West Virginia. So join me in welcoming to the stage Eileen Johnson.
All right, the next award is the Redevelopment Partner Award. It recognizes an individual, organization, agency, or other institution that has demonstrated a strong commitment to brownfield redevelopment and worked closely with the Brownfields Assistance Centers to facilitate brownfield redevelopment across the state. And this year's recipient is Andy Davis with the New River Gorge Regional Development Authority. Well deserving too. I do want to read this. I think you've got this information, but I wanted to read this about Andy. He grew up in the Appalachian foothills and Piedmont region of Georgia, and where he developed an appreciation for combining outdoor adventures with his education and social pursuits. After visiting West Virginia as a teenager, he returned to train as a whitewater rafting guide on the New River Gorge in between semesters at Georgia College and State University. I bet that was interesting road trips. Earned a degree in environmental sciences, and then nonprofit work in 2 years as a VISTA worker in southern West Virginia. He then got a graduate degree in municipal sustainability at Indiana University. And then Andy returned to West Virginia in 2019 to focus on community and economic development across the state. I'm just going to stop right there. You can read the rest of the things about him, but I want to say this. I love his quote. He says, "Living and working in West Virginia allows me to combine my passions for sharing its tremendous outdoor treasures and its many opportunities to attract more residents and create more jobs." And all I can say is Georgia's loss is West Virginia's gain. Real quick, they're finishing up the Ice House property in Hinton. It's in the voluntary program. Their next huge undertaking is the former Beckley landfill that the authority now owns, and they're going to pursue cleanup on that. And their next one that they're gearing up for is another landfill over in Raynell. So they have jumped on the Brownfields wagon big time. So Andy, congratulations.
All right. Our last West Virginia Brownfield Award is the Local Leadership Award, which recognizes a neighborhood, city, or county leader with a strong commitment to brownfield redevelopment. And this year's recipient only agreed to be here after I assured him he would not have to speak from the stage. Jim Cork-Bowen of the Paden City Development Authority is the volunteer director of the Paden City Development Authority, currently managing an EPA assessment grant as well as a cleanup grant. He is a force in Paden City, and as I said, had to be convinced to be here and wanted to share the love with his entire board, but is certainly their fearless leader, and we're excited for him to be with us today. So how can you get one of these awards? These awards are selected from nominations that we take from all of our constituents, and so around the time that you start hearing about the conference next year, you'll start to hear about nominations, and selections are made from our committee, which is composed of George and I, Casey Corbini, and Aaron Britton from West Virginia DEP, and Jennifer Britton from Main Street, West Virginia, and we encourage you to nominate yourself or your colleagues or your partners for awards next year, and you can read more about that on our website. We had another special surprise award, but unfortunately she wasn't able to be here, but we want to give a shout out to her anyway. Mayor Ann Cavalier of Smithers recently presented not once, not twice, but 3 times at the National Brownfields Conference in Detroit, including on the main stage as a member of the Mayor's Plenary Roundtable. She told the story of Smithers and their efforts to redevelop a large brownfield site with the help of DEP and EPA and many others, and how they're transforming their former coal camp into a destination for recreational tourism in the Upper Kanawha Valley. She also participated in a competition with the tab providers called Perfect Pitch, where she won the audience vote to receive technical assistance from the national tab provider, and she joined Aaron Britton from DEP talking a little bit more about the program that you heard from Aaron on the cabin panel yesterday morning. And so we made her a special award, the National Brownfield Star, and we'll be getting that to her after the conference. We know she really wanted to be here, but she is a force. If you haven't met her, she's wonderful and inspiring, and we were excited to see her highlighted on a national stage. All right.
All right, well, congratulations to everybody. So unfortunately, we're at the end of our conference. Thank you all for coming out. A couple of things. Again, special thanks to all of our sponsors and exhibitors. It was really nice to have them all around here while we're here in the room and participating in discussions and everything. I saw a lot of people making contacts with each other. I've had several say, hey, I met this person, hey, I met that person. Somebody just asked me, are we going to take some time off now? Tomorrow we'll be doing all those follow-up emails and all those things we've promised we were going to do with folks. So unfortunately, no rest there. But again, we want to thank all of our sponsors and exhibitors. And next, we want to thank all of our speakers. Heard some I learned some, even though I'm getting old, I learned some brand new things here today. It was great. Really enjoyed all the participation, and of course to all of our participants today. Thank you all so much. Now, last thing, next year, mark your calendar, September the 10th through the 12th will be our 2024 conference, and the location is to be determined or yet to be announced. We'll let you know here soon. And with that, how about we all give each other a round of applause for a really fun couple of days. All right, so thank you so much. Safe travels and enjoy your evening.